Hi guys, we're going to do some painting. So to start off with, I have a Cricut cutting machine. So I've already been in the program. Got a couple different color vinyls here. I did some templates. You can kind of see it in the reflection a little bit. Got some dragon scales on this one. The first one I showed you says Mayako in a couple places, has a couple of dragons. And this bright pink one here has flames on it. So did them in different colors, that way when they're in the back side of the body I can tell what's what. I know what I'm peeling off, that way I don't have like layers of the same color on top of one another, and I can also see what's on top of one another, so I'm not trying to peel something underneath that I don't need to peel off. Alright, next thing I did was I went to my sink. This is my new body, hasn't been cut out yet. I put it in the sink, took some Dawn dish soap and a scrubby, a Brillo pad, and I went in and I washed and scrubbed, put little fine scratches all throughout, you can see them. Gives a nice little surface for the paint to adhere to that you can't see when you paint the car. So that'll allow the paint to adhere, it'll last a little bit longer. Then I dried it thoroughly with a towel, so there's no water droplets in there whatsoever. So I'm going to do part of this today, I'm going to do part of this tomorrow. It's been a long day. It's kind of late now, so like I said, I'm showing all this, explaining what I did, because this is just a webcam. I can't really walk through the house with it. It's not a GoPro or anything like that. So I can grab the camera here and I can show you. That's my Cricut Explorer 2. That's what I cut the vinyls on. Went on Amazon and I got some sticky sheets. So just standard type, and that's what these pieces of vinyl stick down onto. The door opens up on the vinyl cutter. I load stuff on the Cricut Space app. I make my own designs, download a couple of designs online. A lot of times what you can do is you can just search images or templates. You just search whatever word you want in template, and a lot of times there's templates that are available out there. Most of them will link to a page where you got to pay to download the stuff, but if you can see the image on the screen and you right click it, you can actually save the image and cheat out. As long as there isn't a watermark across the top of it, it's really easy. If there is a watermark across it and you want to get that image, you can go into the editor and you can actually remove the watermark, load it up into the program, and set the edges that you want to cut. It's not too awfully difficult. If I can do it, I'm not that brain smart when it comes to computer stuff. I'm kind of figuring some of this stuff out as I go. So I haven't been online watching any videos to learn how to do it. I kind of just tinker until I get it. So yeah, that's what I've got. So there again, I've got my clear body. We're going to apply vinyls to the inside. We're using them as a paint template. It's not stickers that go on the outside that can get beat up as you're racing and get bumped on and flip over and stuff like that. Can't be scratched off from the outside. This is going to be inside the body, like the professional paint that you buy. The brand paint that I'm going to use is called Spastics. Local hobby shop here, Extreme RC, carries 3 different brands, I think, on the shelf. I think it's Spastics. They've got the new Traxxas paint, and they've got some Tamiya paint. Now keep in mind, if you're using different brand paints, be careful to let each paint fully cure before you put another layer of a different brand on there. Some of the chemicals in those paints do not mesh well with one another. They do not, they don't mix, they don't adhere. So I run into issues where I've used Spastics to start with, and then I tried to back a paint that was Spastics without it fully 100% curing before I've sprayed on some Tamiya, and the Tamiya literally ate through the Spastics paint and ended up being gooey. It never even hardened. It was like almost rubberized, and then it peeled off very quick. Like it completely killed the adhesion. So be aware of that. You don't want to spend all that time, effort, money putting things together just for them to come apart before you can even get to use it. In that case, what I ended up using was I ended up going in with some thinner and scrubbing out the body, and then tried repainting the inside of it. But for whatever reason, whatever chemical reaction happened there, any paint that I put on that body ended up just chipping off. And I just ran it with like hardly no paint on it by the end. It was pretty much didn't have any color to it. It was almost a clear body again. But yeah, so I'm gonna take my vinyl sheets here, and I've got a pair of scissors that goes with my vinyl machine. You can go to any craft store, they sell all this stuff, and you can do your own arts and crafts. I feel like one of them ladies that does a scrapbooking. So I know you can't see it on the camera, but I can see where the vinyl machine has etched these lettering pieces out on this piece of vinyl. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut it out. First thing I'm cutting out is the Japanese lettering for the Mayako. Alright. I'm going to cut out the English lettering for the Mayako. Now you don't have to try to eyeball this stuff. When you do it, you can peel off the background section of it, and then you can go in and you can see what you're doing a little bit better. Luckily, because I got these lights set up in here, I can see what I'm doing pretty darn good. I can see the cut lines.
Are you done in the kitchen?
Yeah, I'm done in the kitchen. Alright, now I got two of the English lettering of Mayako. And then I'm going to do one more. I'll put 5 Japanese letterings on here because I'm debating on if I'm going to put a couple on my trailer or on my van. It's like bumper stickers. So this is quality vinyl. This isn't some trash vinyl, and it's UV resistant, so I can put it outside and it doesn't. Put it on vehicles. I've got some vinyls that I made probably 2 years ago that are still on the window of my van, and they haven't faded, they haven't cracked, they haven't peeled back and dried out, all that stuff. So like I said, it's pretty good quality vinyl. Bought it on Amazon in a big package of multicolors. I knew I was going to be doing this kind of stuff with it. And I made a couple bumper stickers, like I said, and done some lettering on my RC trailer and stuff like that. Alright, this one's got the flames on it. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to peel the background off of the flames. From here. The easiest way to do this is fold it over, kind of slide it against itself. And that allows the cuts to kind of peel off. Now there's going to be some points in here, so I'm going to pull at some weird angles here so the vinyl will pull up from in between the flames. Just when you're doing this, try not to let the vinyl fold back over onto the sticky side, fold back over and touch what you don't want it to touch, because it will peel up the parts that you don't want it to peel up. Just kind of rolling my fingers back, letting it kind of pull the spacing pieces out. Now when you use your vinyl setter, make sure you set it, well, it doesn't just do vinyl, it's got several settings. It'll do cardboard and stuff like that. So make sure that when you set it, do a trial piece, make sure there's a couple different vinyl settings. So make sure you find the one that's the best to where it's not like cutting through the back sheet, because if it starts cutting through the back sheet, it will cut into your sticky board, and then makes it a little harder when you peel the stuff off. Sticky board is pretty sticky, and then you'll end up peeling the sticker off with the backboard. Not necessarily a really bad thing in some cases, but in some cases it is. Alright, this one, you can kind of see it on the camera. This is a whole sheet of scales right here, right? So I'm going to leave this one how it is, because I've got a little idea that I'm going to use for my scales. I'm going to try something different this time. You know, trial and error, learn new things every time we do this kind of stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try peeling some of these scales out and putting them in random areas on the body to try to give it sort of a dual scale effect. So I'm going to try to do scales in the top of the body like I did on my last body. So the scales kind of look like outlines of scales, and then I'm just going to have like bunches of scales in certain places in a different color. So it's going to have sort of like patchy scales on it. Flames on the front. And we're going to have our little dragons. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and peel the back board off of this so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to have dragons on the side. Now this has some pretty intricate cuts on it, so I'm going to be really careful with this one. Both of these. A lot of fine points. When I get done peeling all this stuff out, then I have to go through the effort of trying to get the eyeball out of there too, and that's kind of hard to do, but I'll be able to get it. I've done a bunch of dragons because I am a dragon. Alright, so you can see that? I said a lot of intricate cuts in that. A lot of points, a lot of switchback pieces. So in the kit that you can get, there's also a pick. So there's an eyeball and a piece of the mouth that I'm going to use the pick. I'm going to pop them out. If you're doing lettering and stuff like that, it comes in handy when you're trying to get A's and O's and stuff like that, where you've got openings in the middle of letters. Especially if you make little letters. This just comes in huge handy. Alright. Alright, now I've got the, can't really see, it's light color. You see the eyeball and the top part of the mouth right there where the tooth touches the tongue. I had to pop that part out. Looks a lot better when that's out of there. I've forgotten to take them out before and laid it on a paint job, and then after I got done I was like, oh, I forgot to take those off. So now my dragon don't have an eyeball and he's missing part of his mouth. Alright, so another dragon, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of roll it back. If you notice that the vinyl is starting to pull up on the points, you can kind of roll it back and forth and it should pretty much release itself. Super wings, so there's not a whole lot to pull off there. Because of the different angles on here, I pull from different angles. That way it doesn't tear pieces off. Alright, got that one. I'm going to pop the small piece of vinyl out the eyeball and out the tongue. There's the eyeball. They really be tiny pieces. I try not to leave them laying on top of the vinyl. Like, they pop up a lot of times, they'll stick right back to the vinyl that's there, or they won't fully release on a little tiny part and it'll spin around and stick back down. Now if you leave it like that, it doesn't really cause a whole lot of issue, but to me it just is a lot cleaner. Now same dragon, just reverse. And in the program you can do that. You can duplicate and flip. Same exact size. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take my Japanese lettering. I'm going to go ahead and peel the background off of these. And I specifically made this out of yellow, like I said, because I may use one or two that I put on that vinyl sheet as stickers later on. I haven't decided on where and when I may use them, but I'll have them aside in case I decide I want to stick them on my vehicle or on my Akko. Stick them on my vehicle or stick them on my trailer. For those of you that followed the build of my new Akko, I was able to go to Monk's Corner Raceway today and get involved in a heat. What we call locally our pro class, which most of our locals that run the pro class aren't pro level. We just call it that. We're our pro class is basically our fast locals. And threw it on the track, and in the heat I came in third. I think they had 2 pro classes today, if I'm not mistaken. I was third in the one I was in. I don't know if the other class that was there was a sportsman or a pro. I think it was a pro. And Mayako. But I thoroughly enjoy racing with our locals. I had a birthday party to go to, so I couldn't hang out and do the rest of the day. I really wanted to shake the car down today, but I wasn't able to there. After the birthday party I had to go to today, I went by Extreme RC in Ladson. I'm the race director over there, and we had rain the other day, and there's been no prep on the track, so it was almost quite literally a sand pit today. Started off with the wrong compound tires, the wrong pin pattern for the track and the conditions, and I ran a battery pack on that, and it felt good for what it was. Car was controllable. Of course, it lacked grip because the tires I had just weren't right. So I went and I swapped my tires out. I went to some blockades in Super Soft, and they were able to get a lot more grip on the track. Car did really good, was super controllable. So far I'm pleased with it. We'll see what happens when I can actually run it through a whole race day. Did a little bit of tuning changes today, nothing major. Just ride height changes to adjust the pitch of the car, going in and out of corners and stuff like that. So far I'm pleased with the car. We'll see. I've done 4 battery packs today. It's going to be a drawn out process of some test and tune kind of deals. So a couple of race days, couple of practice days. The practice days I'll get out there and I'll do stuff for drivability, and then on race days I'll see how I square up with the other guys. Because I'm race director at the track, I do have access to the timing system, so if I've got time and feel like going through the effort, I can hook up the timing system and I can run laps and see what my lap times are. I just don't like to give myself that unfair advantage against the other guys. I know it's my right, but I don't like to hook the timing system up unless I've got other people there running timing also. That way we can all share in the goods. Alright, so this one, like I said, I'm going to use the scales. So I'm at least going to peel the background off of the outline. And then we can use the I used to make a whole sheet of these scales, but I quit doing it because I only needed like a little tiny bit of it. You got to be annoying. So, we got this big old sheet of scales right here. There's little separate scales that are cut out inside here, which I'm going to peel out. So, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once I get some of these scales out, I'm going to cut the sheet to fit, and I'm going to press the scales all through here. So, how I normally have it is my flames are my my prominent feature on the body. So since my flames are my prominent feature, those are going to be the first things to go on and the last things to come off with the vinyl. So I've got my flame sheet here. And on this body, it's got a nose piece in here that's kind of made in. So I'm going to cut that off when I install it on the car, because I'm putting a nose wing on the front of the car. It's a Racecraft flock foil that I'll be putting on the front of the car, so there's no need for this extra piece on the front. Alright, now this flame set here has a long flame lick on it. On one part. So I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to try to peel this up nice and easy. I'm not going to put my fingers all over it if possible. Now if it sticks to itself, yeah, I got to do it. But I'm not going to do it in this case. So this has the long flame lick on it. Oh, I'm magnetic. So I'm going to put it on the car to where I can utilize that. So I've got as much flame going down the body as I can get. So I'm trying to do this, I'm being careful. So if you start from one side and work your way to the other, and you try to make sure that you don't have any bubbles behind it, and it's making contact fully. So once I get it positioned, I'll go back in and I'll really work on that, but just trying to get it in position and get make sure it's laying flat on there, there's no wrinkles. If you do get a wrinkle in there and you can't get it out, you can work it some, and a lot of times you can get them wrinkles flattened out and you can't even hardly tell that they were there. Sometimes you're just stuck with them. Sometimes that vinyl sticks to itself and you're not getting it apart. You'll end up tearing the vinyl and then you're fighting against it. Okay. If you end up with bubbles in the middle of the sticker, it's not a big deal. It's the edges that you really want to worry about, because when you spray these, if it's pulled up anywhere, that paint's going to sort of overspray underneath. And then you'll have a kind of a bleed there. Not worried about it too much in the parts that's going to be cut out. Alright, so you see the body cut out and the reflection there. I'll put my hand on there to help. So that's where the body cutout's going to be. So I started the sticker beyond that, and then the flames are going to go down the side. Now my flames are going to be a metallic and pearl, a candy and pearl, excuse me. And then we're going to be red. And the body color is going to be bright yellow, as my last one was. We do night racing sometimes, and that color just pops at night. Alright, now grab the side flame set from the other side. We're going to do it basically the same way. Now I myself am not 100% worried about it being picture perfect on both sides. I don't mind that the flames do different things. because they're flames. Fire doesn't do the same thing on both sides of the log. It just is there. Just so happens that this vinyl set has the mirror image flames on either side. Alright. Got it in place here. Now, some people are really OCD and they have to have things perfectly identical on either side of stuff. I get that. I'm just not that guy. Some things I'm really OCD with. This is not one of them. Alright, got a little bubble right, okay, it went out. Started to do a wrinkle there. I thought I was going to be able to show you guys what to do with a wrinkle, but it rolled right out of there when I put my finger on it. It didn't try to hang around. Alright, now I've got, looks funny in that tank though, don't it? Alright, now for the fun one, the big one. So we got the big flame in the middle. So there's going to be some flame overlap between the sides and the top more than likely. Not a big deal. So they're all going to be the same color. They'll work together and kind of give it a multi-flame lick look. Oh, that's so staticky tonight. Air must be dry. Just want to stick with my fingers. Alright, so try to get the flames to where they aren't going to touch first. I'm going to stick it on the low part first, work my way out to the high sections, and I let it work into the creases and crevices here. Like I said, the bubbles in the middle don't matter. We're worried about the outsides on the visual parts. I'm not worried about edges where the other flames are at, where it's overlapping the other flames, because that's all going to get hidden away anyhow. You can do these templates two different ways. You can do it as a positive or a negative. And I'm doing it as a negative image. Basically meaning that I'm going to paint around it. And then I'm going to peel it up. Peel the vinyl up, and then we're going to paint the color of the image. And as I'm rolling these flames in, some of the flame licks are going to overlap, which is just fine for me for this project. So not a big deal. Like I said, fire is not perfect, so my flames aren't going to be perfect. I don't mind overlap as long as they're kind of all going the same direction. Don't want any flames pointing the wrong way. sideways. You want them to make it look like they're coming off, going in a straight line. Alright, we've got a fold right there, so I'm going to show that on the camera what it looks like when you've got a fold. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you got bubbles in it too, because this is bubbled pretty good in the middle. The vinyl's not wanting to stretch real good. Let me use my finger and I'm going to warm up the vinyl, and I'm going to make sure the edges are stuck down as much as possible. It's easier to work the vinyl when you got a warm finger rubbing on it. It will stretch. Just got to work on it. Alright, so I'm going to show y'all. There's actually a tiny little fold. Let me see if we can get light reflect on it. Yeah, tiny little fold. So you take your finger and you press on it. You just kind of fold it up nice and tight as you're going. You won't even notice that when you paint. Like it won't be there. Because the vinyl ended up still being straight. It didn't change the direction of that flame at all. I just kind of worked it, rolled it over, flattened it out, and pressed it in as much as possible. That way I don't end up with paint underneath there, and we don't end up with like a little line when we spray it out. Okay. So, like you see, we got bubbles in the middle. Doesn't matter. As long as the outsides are stuck down. That don't look like it's stuck down right there. Looking at that on the camera. It actually is. That's just where there's a body fold right there, and it looks like it's not stuck down. And then we got a bubble over here, but there's another piece of vinyl underneath it, so as long as it's not like protruding out to where I don't want paint to go beyond that piece of vinyl behind it, then I'm good. Alright, there's our flames. Now we got a bunch of little flame licks that came in there. So I'm going to take a couple of these and I'm just going to kind of randomly stick them in there to add a little bit. This extra stuff that has to be peeled off in the process, but I don't mind. Just that extra added layer of detail in the paint job. Like I say, I'm going to randomly put them on. It's not going to be identical on the two sides. They're just going to be in there. You just have to remember to pay attention. Look for them when I'm doing the peeling before I do this color. It's been known in the past for me to leave pieces of vinyl underneath paint and then realize it like days later that there was a piece of vinyl stuck in there. I'll look at the body and I'll be like, oh, there's something in there. That's why I use these bright colors. That way I can look at the outside of the body and see stuff. That way I don't get that embarrassment. My other Mahako body actually had a piece of, I had the Japanese Mahako lettering on the very top of the car, and I forgot and left the vinyl there. Realized it later, went in and basically chipped it out because the paint was already set. And then once I got it out of there, it was clear body. And then I ended up putting some RC body armor underneath it, so when you look at it, it looks like carbon fiber. Came out pretty neat. Sometimes we just gotta take our negatives and make positives out of them some way. I could easily just went in with some like black spray paint, but I like the way that RC Body Armor had looked on there. Looks like carbon fiber when you lay it out, so when you stick it on the inside of the body, it kind of gives it like a bubbly carbon fiber look. A little more flame lake to stick in there. I'm going to put that one. Let's just do a random one back here. There we go. Alright, so outside of the body. Looks like flames. The car's going along. Alright, so like my last body, I'm going to put the Japanese Mayako in the top like so. So there's a little trick I got here for you. So they sell this stuff. It's all dusty. It's been sitting on top shelf. It's a big roll. They sell this stuff. That's vinyl application backer. Not 100% sure what they call it, the technical name for it, but basically what it is. So I'm going to cut off a piece big enough for my vinyl here. And I'm going to attempt to use it more than once. See how it works out. Alright, so what we do is we peel the clear up. Put it where y'all can see it. Peel the clear up, which has a grid on it, which comes in handy when you're doing some lettering. And we're going to put the sticker up. We're going to take this sticky clear sheet. We're going to put it down on top of it. We'll rub it on there. And then we should be able to peel the backing off, revealing the sticky side of the vinyl. Once we do that, we can come in, position it where we want it. Go ahead and work that vinyl in place as good as you can. Because you got double layers there, it's going to be kind of hard to keep from getting all the rolls and bubbles out. And then you fold it over, kind of like the way we peeled the backing off of the vinyl sheets. Make sure all of our bubbles are worked out. Make sure we got any folds kind of flattened out nice if there are any. Like I got a little tiny one in the yellow right there, and it's right in a window crease, so that's good. Oh, by the way, you'll notice there aren't any windows in this car. I didn't put any window sheets on. That'll be the first thing you want to put on if you're doing windows in your vehicle. You want that on there first because that's going to be the absolute last thing to come off if you want to clear or if you want to tint it or make it another color. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we got Mayako. Same thing. Should have made me one a little bit longer for the lettering Mayako, but as long as I got it stuck on the edge, should be okay. It'll just be hanging off the clear sheet. Yeah, it's kind of hanging off the clear sheet a little bit. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, you know what I did? That should have been backwards. Because I made it like a sticker, not a reverse. So I made it to where it would go on the outside, not the inside. So I'm going to have to, those are going to be bumper stickers. Those are going to be bumper stickers. Which sucks because this Mayako that's on the top of it is also not reversed. So I'm going to have to come back in. Where's my pick at? There it is. Peel that Japanese lettering back out of there. I don't know Japanese, so I didn't realize that was backwards. Just keep in mind, whenever you do lettering on the inside of the body, make sure that if you're using the vinyl templater, you make the lettering backwards. That's okay. What I may end up doing is I may just skip over painting the Mayako lettering in there. The car came with a vinyl sheet set, so I may just do a vinyl sheet set. I've got enough vinyl stickers for that I can come back in and replace them if need be. They're also cheap on the website, so I can order more. But what I do want is my dragons. I always put my dragons in facing forward. But keep in mind, because it's reversed, I'm going to stick it in the other side, sticky side, to the plastic with its face facing forward. And there again, this is an intricate piece, so you got to be extremely careful peeling it up because that might come off the back sheet too much. Can use a clear sheet, but I've done a couple of these, so I'm kind of gotten okay with peeling them up, working them, and getting them in place. Now, part of the flame motif comes from the dragon motif, so dragon spit flames. So that's the purpose in the flames on the body. Alright, so see, I don't put the little tiny dragon on there and make it okay, so you can kind of see it when you're looking from the top when it's going by. That's bad car noises. I'll go ahead and peel my one off for the other side. Now this is where I'm going to try to get it as mirrored as possible. This is where my OCD is going to work a little bit. It don't have to be perfect, but I'm going to try to get it as close as I can. If I wanted it perfect, I'd be in here measuring it. I'd be using the clear backer sheets with the grid, and I'd be measuring and marking and getting it perfect. Kind of look at where the one is on the other side. And kind of try to get the head pretty close to the same. And try to angle it pretty close to the same. Try not to let any of the points overlap. And kind of gives it a neat layering effect when you got something perfect like that in the background, like so. Look through the body. See if I can line it up. Look how close that is. I mean, that's almost dead nuts right there. And that's just eyeballing it. That's no measuring. So that came out good. There again, I'm going to go through, rub it all down. Make absolutely sure that you don't have any bubbles or folds in there. Alright. Now, since I'm not putting the Akko lettering in the side, then may, instead of using the positive scales, I'll do it negative. So I'm end up using the scaling on top and on the sides, kind of in different areas. Alright, so it's not going to cover this whole thing. It's just going to be kind of like a racing stripe down the middle. Come in and say start at the tip right here. Try to cut straight down. And because I'm cutting through the middle of the scales, the other side has kind of a point to it. Start folding it. So I'm going to attempt to cut the tips off of those points on the other side, so it's kind of looks the same on the left and the right, so it doesn't look quite as odd. All right. Yeah, so we've got I'm trying to aim straight up the side like so. And that's the OCD kind of thing. Instead of people having a straight up racing stripe down the middle, mine's going to be a row of scales. Alright, so this is going to be like peeling lace. Got to be careful, don't pull on it so much to where the vinyl's going to try to stretch. Our part's getting it started. Once you get it started, it's just kind of Easily peel it out. Make sure you aren't taking any of the other pieces with it. Kind of neat, huh? So here's my outline. So when I lay the paint in there, the paint is going to be the outline color, with the inside of it being the body color. Alright, so I'm going to kind of center it up. Start at the lowest point, which is going to be the roof. Get my fingers out from underneath it. Kind of work it like a flat piece of vinyl. Try to avoid any overlaps and peeling in any open areas that you can help. And I let go a bit early. Get underneath it and lift it up. Okay. Some pretty good vinyl. It doesn't tear super easy. It's pretty tough stuff. It feels almost like electrical tape, which is vinyl also, but it's not electrical tape by no means. I wouldn't trust it for electrical. Because of the way this stuff is, there's going to be some folding and binding, which they're dragging scales. I'm not super duper worried about some of that stuff. It's not a highly visible piece of the paint job. While it's going by, you really got to look at it for defects, and I'm not a professional painter. Somebody's not paying me to do this, so as they say, looks good for my house. A couple of spots that bubbled up in the top. Work those out. Couple spots in the front. Work those out. Alright, now it's like a scale racing stripe right down the middle. Well, it's not going to be pink when it's done. It'll be a different color. I haven't decided what color I'm going to do this one in yet. The first one I did was in silver. Last one I did was in black, so we'll see. And yes, I did want it to end right there. I wanted it to end before this cutout. So the issue with running a sheet like this is it's going to be a secondary color, all these scales. So if I'm wanting mainly a neon yellow body, if I put these in here, there's going to be one part that's only going to have like neon yellow outlines in it. And I kind of want the neon yellow scale look. Okay, so next, like I said, I'm going to put some of these down the sides. So let's say, let's do 1, 2. Let's do 3 tips deep. Then I'll make a matching one for the other side. And I'm cutting from this side, not the other side of the cutout, because I did that. Cut the vinyl thing in. Because if I do that, then I'm gonna have to cut the edges off of the scales like I did on the first cut. Alright, so did that. We're going to make a piece for the other side. Alright, so we've got our next sheet. Peel the scale outlines out. If it'll let me. And the hard part's getting started. Alright, now it started. It should peel right out. Alright. So, tips of the scale goes toward the back. So I want it to go extend past the body on the back, and then extend fully into the flames on the front. Just like so. Take a look inside the flames, you'll be able to see the scales behind the flames coming all the way back to behind the body cut line. Same for the other side, get the scales off. My cat was clawing up my chair, I had to run her off. Cats cause so much damage to furniture in this house. From the pull it at an angle, see if that'll get it. Yeah, there it goes. Having a problem with some of the scale edge pieces are wanting to peel up. There we go. Alright. So, another one. Do it on this side of the body so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Don't want it to extend past the flames and past the body cut. Start in the middle, work my way towards the front, my way towards the back. And those went on really smooth. There's no folds or bubbles in that. That was awesome. And now we got that side past the body cut line. That side going through the flames and past the body cut line. Sweet. So, it gives you kind of an idea of the motif going on here. And I'm not using an airbrush when I do this. I'll be using Spastix rattle cans. Spray paint. So expect that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the video for the night. I just wanted to get the vinyl done. I will continue this paint video tomorrow. And we'll actually get some paint laid down. This takes about as long as it takes to paint it, because I don't let the paint really cure hard before I do layers. I let it dry to the touch where it's not tacky, and then I lay the next coat. And that spray paint normally works pretty good. It dries fairly quick as long as the humidity isn't high and the temperature is good outside. And it's nice out right now. So we'll get this done tomorrow. I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to include that in this video. So keep watching, and we'll do paint next.